Hello and welcome to our latest Spotlight interview, where we are joined by insurance innovators and leaders from around the world. This week, I am delighted to be joined by Rajat of InsureTech. Rajat, hello.
Hi, Matt. Thanks
Hi.
For inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, great to have you. So InsureTech is a digital solutions provider to the global industry with a mission to make insurance easy. It has a business in more than 30 countries, serving over 200 carriers and numerous agents, brokers, InsurTechs, and others in the ecosystem. Now, before we dive in and talk more about the business, Rajat, please, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, maybe even prior to joining InsureTech?
Sure, Matt. So I'm based in Singapore, and my current role in InsureTech is I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for InsureMO.com, which is the open platform that I'll be spending most of my time today talking about. I've been with InsureMO for close to 6 years now, and I think this is the reason why I joined InsureTech, because the amount of innovation, the amount of disruption InsureTech has done over the years, that has been so exciting, and that kind of pulled me into InsureTech. And prior to that, I've been with various large organizations, mostly in the BFSI space, banking, financial services, capital markets, and the insurance space, not dedicatedly an insurance guy all in out. So I've been with large SIs managing huge multi-million-dollar deals and driving IT-related projects in that space, mostly in the Asia region. I've been in the UK for a while. I've done my own startup in the healthcare, health tech space as well. And I've been with a few seed stage startup, pulled them up to a Series A kind of a level in the fashion tech, ERP kind of stage. So been all across the space and touched almost every aspect of the industry. And InsureTech, specifically because of InsureMO, it's a very, very special time that I've spent it so far.
Super interesting. So entrepreneur, consultant as well, did I catch in that? And then finance guy.
Yes, you can say that.
Let's go with that one. So before we dive into InsureMO, tell us a little bit more broadly about InsureTech. So the services it provides, the platform that you guys have created for your clients.
So as I said here, InsureTech is a company which has disrupted, and disruption in the innovation comes by the culture itself. That's how InsureTech as an organization is. Culturally, it's very entrepreneurial. It's a very, very flat organization, and it's so decentralized that every region, every country is trying to do their own disruption in its own way and in a localized fashion. So InsureTech was one of the first companies probably in the world who came out with the first Java browser-based core systems 21 years back. That was the first disruption that Woody, who's our founder and CEO, brought in by disrupting the overall insurance industry. And from there on till now, I think until 2015 or so, we were kind of continuing with that same innovation. We were innovating in terms of the technologies and doing some upgrades. But the fact is, we were still selling a monolithic core pass Java-based browser-based core system. And we were working with close to 200 plus insurance carriers, so that's what we were doing for the first 15, 16 years of our existence. But I think in 2015 or so, we decided that, we need to disrupt things back because the way things are moving, this is not going to be the future, various reasons for that. Specifically, the amount of innovations which was happening on the channel side, the amount of innovations which was happening on the internet companies on the digital side, the amount of need for connectivity, IoT, the smartphone evolution that we were seeing. So we realized that one box or one monolith, howsoever modern that is not going to meet the need for the innovation which is required by the world, and specifically for insurance. If I look at auto, mobility, healthcare, e-commerce, fintech, they are all kind of catering to their own set of users. But insurance is one industry that has to cater to every single industry. So that has to be more embedded, it has to be more connected, probably 100 times more connected than anything else. So that is where I think 2015, we decided that we need to bring out a more platform which is more open, which is more connected, which could be, underlying platform to various innovations. So that is where InsureMO.com was born. And from there till now, I think this is what we've been doing so far. A very exciting journey, a lot of challenges that we faced. Because it's a revolution. It is still a revolution. When we started off, people didn't believe in the insurance space, specifically an API microservice platform as a space. Sure. Today, I think we've seen a lot of success in the platform, and that's what is driving us and our growth as well in the InsureTech.
Can you talk through, maybe go a little bit deeper with InsureMO? So did you join to help get that business off the ground? Was that it? Because the timing sound about right. So you've been with InsureTech for 6 years. It sounded like InsureMO launched around that same time that you joined, right?
Yes. So the way InsureMO.com was born was we kind of created a small task force. It's like an incubation within InsureTech. So it was me, myself, and we had a CTO, a product head from our Sydney team, from our China team as well. So we were 5 of us kind of incubated this as a white paper. We started building on solutions. We started testing the ideas with the market, and that's how the platform vision came to reality. And then once we started building, and we kind of raised our rounds of fundings during that time, and the whole funding that we raised kind of was plugged into R&D to actually build the platform fresh off the ground, rather than taking something that we already had on the core pass side and putting it on the cloud like many of the companies did. We actually created something completely fresh off the ground, and we then started taking it to the market. So as anybody would do, like a startup, you go and test the ideas with the closest connects that you have, whether these are customers or these are friends that in the market, and you start testing the ideas. So that's what we did with various analysts, various large customers, various multinational customers, various local customers as well. We started building some traction in the early years. And when we realized that, yes, this is a need and this is a problem that every single company is facing, that is where, we started plugging in more money. We started getting some early adopters, specifically in the Asia region, where we were already one of the largest ones in the insurance space. And from there on, I think it was fairly simple. If you ask me, what we've done last year, we've done close to $20 billion in premium just on InsureMO alone. We're now connected with more than 5,000 plus channels. We are working with 3,300 plus carriers globally. And this is probably not even 0.1% of what we want to achieve. So there's 99.9% of the markets which are still open for us. So that's how we look at it right now.
And how do you position it publicly? How do you describe the business? How do you talk about it's designed for kind of open API collaboration? How do you present the benefits that it provides to incumbents, etc.?
As the name suggests, MO, it means middle office. So what we are doing is we are taking an alternate route to transformation, number one. So rather than replacing one core system with another core system, waiting for 3 years, burning down tens of millions of dollars, and probably just getting a 10% upgrade on your technology or a 20% upgrade on your technology. What we are telling the insurance companies is that you don't have to do that, right? Your back office is meant for your internal users, right? They don't need so much of innovation, right? They don't need the great amount of connectivity. So you can have a simpler, leaner back office, or your legacy could even meet your back office needs. Where innovation is happening is on the channel side, is probably on the product side, is probably on the architecture, which gives you connectivity to your subsystems. So that is where middle office comes into picture, where middle office could sit on top of your back office, even power a back office as well. You could have various applications in your back office, whether it could be underwriting applications or claims or reinsurance or billing, collection, payments, we could even power that. But more importantly, this middle office section or platform, could power all your front office channels, applications, partners, ecosystems, your subsystems, so anything that you require. This is where, your innovation could happen. So you could run it on a 2-speed model where your middle office runs on 100x speed, or your back office could be at X, or you could even use this as a middleware platform, like MuleSoft or a Boomi or an Axway. You could actually use this where every insurance service, every product is there, and you could design your whole core system around that. So you would essentially get not a monolith, but a distributed application oriented microservices based core system. So that's a very simple pitch that we give to all our customers, whether these are carriers, large carriers, small carriers, or these are channels like e-commerce companies, fintechs, banks, auto dealers, manufacturers, brokers, all of that. So we have all of them as customers now.
Interesting. And so InsureTech has this global profile. Is InsureMO now the forward-facing brand of InsureTech? So when we talk about the regions that you cover, the carriers you work with, is that predominantly through InsureMO? Because you also mentioned you're 1% into your journey as well, or is this the kind of the future of the business? Do you see it?
Look, so I think InsureMO is one aspect of it, And the way we look at it is, if you look at Microsoft or you look at Salesforce, right? So they will have different business lines. So Microsoft has Azure, right? But Microsoft also has Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Azure works with Salesforce CRM as well. So likewise, we are a platform play within eBauTech. Now, eBauTech has various applications. It has an application which is on the front office and back office side, and we are a platform play. So what we are doing is we are driving purely agnostic to whichever application is it that that we partner with. So that's the reason why we also built a marketplace where we have close to 150 plus applications which are non-eBauTech applications. Some of these players are also competing with our eBau SaaS applications as well. We've already partnered with a few of them which are large players in the market, but we believe that they are better than us in those regions, in those geographies, to deliver the amount of innovation required. So we are going in agnostic to whether that's an eBauTech application or it's a third-party application. So for us, so it's not a brand, it's not the only brand for eBauTech. It's one of the lines that will drive the huge change in the overall insurance industry, the mindset of the overall insurance industry. eBauTech will still have its applications. I'm not saying that applications will go away all of a sudden. You will still require application to deliver the final journeys, whether this is for internal users or for external users. We will be driving very independently to whatever application that we sell. That's how we'll work.
Okay, love it. And you shared some of the numbers in terms of kind of premiums that you're hitting at the moment. Well, sort of a question looking back, and maybe a question looking forward. So some of the key highlights, maybe over the last 12 months. We're recording this early 2022, but I'd be very interested in almost kind of in that progress of your journey, because is it going to be the hockey stick growth, and from a CRO perspective, particularly interested in your view on that, but then also kind of looking forward. So what does 2022 hold in store for you guys? Where do you see the next sort of 5 years playing out?
Look, I think our vision is to become as embedded as possible in every single insurance technology. So we are calling ourselves as an operating system of the insurance industry, right? Okay. It's like an Android of the operating system, if you were to use that as a analogy. And any operating system or Android has a market cap which nobody can imagine. So I don't think so even we can imagine where we can go. But the fact is, it's massive. We all know that it is a massive amount of market size out there, and we are not there to go and kill any application vendor. We are only trying to make things better here. Now, if I give you numbers, I've already spoken about the numbers last year. So last year we've already doubled or tripled in terms of various numbers. For example, we've doubled in terms of the total number of policies that we've issued on the platform, in terms of the numbers. In terms of the GWP that we powered, we've already powered more than $20 billion in terms of our premiums that only InsureMO alone has done, not eBauTech's any core systems applications. This includes our public cloud instances as well as private cloud instances, whether these are carriers or these are channels. We ended the year last year with 5,000 channels connected. And if I look at the micro verticals, we are covered almost every single vertical that you can imagine, right from e-commerce, fintechs, travels, OTAs, auto dealers, auto manufacturers, healthcare, health tech, and you name it, right? So we've covered almost everything. So we've micro verticalized, and that's because the amount of products that we offer on the platform. We have more than 3,000 plus ready to use products. So you don't have to sit and code new products every time, the same products again and again. So these 3,000 plus products are ready to be used. All you have to do is just go in, change your rules and ratings, click of a button, you get APIs and all your products ready, and off you go. So the amount of innovation is happening. This year, we believe we can at least, end up with say 10,000 products. I don't know how amount of channels that we'll touch, because we work with carriers, we work with these channels as customers as well. So the number is right now in autopilot mode. They're growing. For example, if with one carrier, we might have connecting with, straight away 50 channels, or one channel onboards with us and they connect with 8 or 9 insurers. So this number is not dependent on one customer, right? So one customer is leading to a network effect. So we are actually spiraling through a network effect right now as the platform grows and gets embedded with 2 different players right now.
And what is the shape of the InsureMO business? So you started with 5 people, a white paper, and you built out from there 6 years ago. Where do you, as a subset of the eBauTech company, where are you guys now in terms of how you guys work, how you set up?
We are not more than, so if you look at eBauTech is around 1,800 people right now, because everything is services oriented business, right? Even if you call it products, but it is services at the end of it. It takes 3 years, 100 people to deliver one project. We are a very lean team. We work like an internet company. We are less than 100 people. And our global operations is run out of India, Brazil, and China. So that is how we cover the sun. And we have no concept of delivery organization. There's nothing called a services team that we have.
Sure.
We have business teams and we have operations teams. So there's a biz ops and there's a tech ops team. Simple. Every time there's a new customer who comes in, who agrees to work with us, all they do is they go set up their customers and they give us a product and they tell us which APIs are required. The biz ops team would come into picture. Within few days, they'll analyze the requirements. They'll give them the actual product based on the Excel sheet that they get. And then they can use those APIs and they can go live in 2 to 3 weeks time. That's how it works. And at times, if these are InsurTechs, these are tech companies, they can straight away log in. They could browse through the platform. They could design their own products. They could write their own code. They could do their DevOps, etc., etc., etc. Build their own APIs because there are service factories, API factories as well, not just ready to use APIs. You would build your own BFFs, what we call it as backend for front-end APIs. And you could do everything just the way you would do it on AWS or any cloud platform.
Superb. And maybe my last question, albeit I may ask another off the back of it, in terms of kind of the market. So we talked about the business and maybe also it's sitting within InsurTech as slightly more broadly. What about the market itself? We're tracking the trends in the marketplace, and we look at open innovation and embedded, and it's as a rhetoric or as a narrative in the market, it's almost at the tip of everybody's tongue, right? So your placement and position within the market feels like the perfect opportunity, especially having had 6 years in development and preparation for almost market readiness as we see it. Where do you see the market? How do you see the market play out over the next 10 years? What is your view on the external side, both from the kind of the broadest sense of your audience, which I appreciate is pretty expansive, but also in the adoption of middleware to achieve this innovation, as you put it.
Yeah. So look, I divide into two things. One is business in the insurance itself, another is the tech aspect. If you look at business, all we hear a lot of stuff is around InsurTech, is around bite size, sachet, micro insurance products, digital products, contextual products, pay as you go products. We're listening all of that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the premiums of any insurance company, these products don't account for more than 2-3%. And 5%, 10%, if really that's a mature players and that's only doing that. The fact is, still 90 to 95% of the insurance products are traditional. They are the same set of large big ticket item, which is actually filling up the balance sheets. So I don't think so that has changed so drastically in the last 4 or 5 years. But yes, over a period of 10 years, I agree that yes, that trend might actually become a 50-50 trend or 40-60 trend. We'll all have to wait and see what happens there. But the fact is, where we are sitting, we are not just doing digital or bite size or sachet. We are covering everything, right from the complex and the most traditional product that any government state-owned insurance company is selling, right to the most innovative product that an e-commerce company or a unicorn or a startup is selling. So we are doing all ranges of that product. So we cater to every market. Now, if you look at tech itself, there's a core system market which has been there for ever, and I think that will still remain there for a long period of time, because you will still need your back office systems to perform. You will still need your underwriters to come in. You still need your claim adjudicators to come in. I don't think so AI and machine learning is going to just take their jobs away. I don't think so that is going to happen. Many people believe, but I personally don't feel that is going to happen. So you'll still need a solid operations system, but that is a back office system. But one thing that I strongly believe, I don't think so that one core system as a concept or a monolithic box is going to remain there, because the fact is one box cannot give you the amount of agility and flexibility which is required. So we are looking at 3 V's right now, as Woody fondly calls it. It's the volume, the variation, and the velocity, right? You need millions of dollars, So can a monolithic box, can you give that elasticity that you could do 100 million policies a day, and the next day you only issue 100K policies? The answer is no. We've done that. So one of our customers issued 100 million policies in 24 hours. We've seen that on the platform live. Can we give the variations? Can you launch multiple variations of the same motor product into different channels within a fraction of minutes or fraction of seconds? Could you package it? Could you give your variations to the customers? Answer is yes, but it takes you 6 months, 9 months, 10 months to do that on your legacy, because there's so much of integration internally that there is so much spaghetti. It's not that straightforward. Then comes your speed. How soon can you launch a channel? How soon can you launch a product? Again, the answer is we all know it, 3 months, 6 months, 4 months, 1 month, 2 months. Yes, people say it, but the fact is, again, it requires cost, it requires that SID and UAD cycles. And then if you launch a channel, there's again that set of, SID, UAD happening. That is not something that will happen in the future, because there's so much need for connectivity. Everybody wants to connect with you. You want to connect with everybody. So that is where we believe that middle office or a middleware or a distributed application architecture is the only way to solve that problem of need for connectivity. And we have seen answers to that. We've seen a lot of case studies. We've seen MuleSoft, companies like MuleSoft getting their valuations because of they being a connectivity platform. They try to solve that problem on the horizontal space, and that is the proven thing. At a probably $150 to $200 million revenue, they've got a $6 billion valuations, and there are multiple cases, right? So we are trying to solve that same problem for the insurance vertical industry. This is probably 100 times more complex than probably just solving a horizontal problem. But yes, that is what we are up to solving.
Love it. And so I do now have a last question. So forgive me. I know I promised that was my last. But solving those problems. So you have by the sound of it, a pretty phenomenal and well-placed business right now, and hats off to you guys for achieving that from a standing start sort of 6 years ago. In terms of the culture that you have in place to continuously innovate, I find that fascinating. So when you're looking at the market and the dynamics, the complexity that you highlight, how do you guys continue to innovate and also continue to innovate successfully? How do you approach that?
I think again that comes from the DNA of the organization. Many people, kind of underrate DNA, but that I believe that is very, very serious thing for any organization to grow. And I think eBautech has a DNA of innovations. The company was born because of disruption, and it kept disrupting. And obviously this comes top down, right from the CEO down to every leader that is in the organization. It's so decentralized that we keep innovating as much as possible at a country level, at a region level. I think that is very, very important. And I think till date, organization runs like that. We might be 21 years old, but we still run every single aspect like a startup. We are so lean, we are so agile that the decision making is like a startup. Every time we try to hire people, we are looking at people who are entrepreneurial in nature, who've done stuff, who believes, who can actually, create a startup in their own zone. That's the kind of leaders we need. We're not looking at people who come and just follow the process and just execute that, right? So that's a culture we have. It's very flat as an organization. So decision making here happens at a very, very flat level. We have not created so much of hierarchies that, if we have to take a decision about a particular tenant, about a particular commercial model, a particular, onboarding of a user that we have to do, we have to go through rounds of approvals. It's very straightforward that we take those decisions based on growth. And that's how I think this works. So DNA is very, very important. And I think eBautech has the right amount of DNA. And as I said, it comes top down. And Woody himself, being, coming from background, his way of, running business is about a test and try. He looks at a model as an entrepreneur. He gives you a chance to, test and try it. If it's successful, you start scaling it up. So that's what we've been doing. Every region, every product, everything that we take, we test and try, we give a proof of point. If it proves, then we start scaling it up. That's where we put, everything behind it, and it scales up. So over the past 6 years, that's what we've done. Nothing special, we've done. Yes, it's all sheer hard work and persistence that we've been following.
Well, I'm sure, and some good minds to that as well, Rajat. I'm quite sure. Super interesting. I think there's a lot any business can learn from that. And culturally, it's if it's not driven by the CEO, it's never going to work out. No matter who you do employ and who you have under you. So congratulations to you guys. Rajat, thank you so much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure learning more about both businesses, but the entirety as a whole with eBautech. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the success for the future.
Thanks so much, Matt. I just love that conversation. Thanks so much for your time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.